Ever see a movie that you love, and yet everyone else seems to hate? No matter how hard you try to defend the film, people just won't appreciate what you can see in it. Sometimes you can see something in a film that nobody else can, whether it's a breathtaking score, inventive cinematography, or an actor showing a new side you've never seen. Some films can affect you in ways that just don't faze other people, and these are the films that I think are most important. So I decided to make a list of 100 films that have changed my life, and will hopefully change yours. A Clockwork Orange is one of those movies that is well and truly ahead of its time. Based on the novel of the same name by Anthony Burgess, this movie is definitely one that has something to say. So let's start with plot. Alex is a troubled teenager who likes to cause trouble with his gang of droogs. The group travel around killing, raping and pillaging for the sheer thrill of it. Alex has a passion for this, and almost makes it his art. Along with a clear love of Beethoven, this appears to be the only thing he cares about in life. Eventually, after captured by police, Alex is forced into prison, where he's given the opportunity to be released if he undergoes an experimental therapy which will force him to watch reels of people committing acts similar to what he enjoyed doing. This in turn forces him to hate what he's become and to change his lifestyle. Now this all seems very conventional for a plot, and it appears almost cliché even for the 1970s, but there's a simple twist to this. When Alex is released back into society, people don't accept him as a changed man, and only want to take revenge for all the horrible things he and his band of droogs have done, and this is the key part of the film. The film constantly plays with the idea of punishment versus rehabilitation in a very interesting way. Alex is almost a child, in his mannerisms, the fact that he's at school, and the fact that he's committed these acts with his friends, and it appears that the crimes that he's committed will stay with him forever, and he has no chance of changing this, no matter how hard he tries. The press are anxious to publicise the change, but the public just can't trust him again. This film is a clear discussion about trust. How can you trust a man who's raped your wife, or even killed her, even if he has been rehabilitated? Should you give him a second chance in society? This is perfectly shown in this scene, where Alex unwittingly enters the home of someone he's done wrong in the past.
I don't think I want to trouble you any further, sir. I think I should be leaving.
No, my boy. No trouble at all. Here, let me fill your glass.
Now of course, this is Kubrick, which means that there's no simple meaning and this is all just however you interpret it. The stylish nature of the film leaves plot simple and loose, so you can read from it whatever you will. And that's something to mention, the style. The film uses its music, mostly classical, against a futuristic dystopian setting to heavily contrast itself. It tries to confuse and amuse at the same time, and leaves you with a sense of satisfaction. When first released, both the public and critics hated the amount of violence in the film, and after a similar crime was committed in real life, and Kubrick started receiving death threats, he pulled it from the cinemas. I can understand why, but this movie is making that exact point. Violence is not the key here. It's the character and what they're going through. The first time I saw the film, the violence didn't faze me, because the underlying message was so strong. I had a friend once say that it was the worst movie she'd ever seen, and I knew she was purely missing the undertone, and instead focusing on the harsh and sometimes uncomfortable way it addresses it, by showing how the character is broken on the inside. A Clockwork Orange is definitely worth a watch, and one of Kubrick's finest.
I was cured, all right.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing.